And hello, PIRAS Motorsport fans, welcome back to the family. Today I want to talk to you about, our most famous video, the one about what's killing your G16 GTS engine, because through the months I've collected a lot of new information, and these engines are not as bad as many want to picture them at all. So I want to get into that with some new details and differences between the Gen 1 and the Gen 2 to see what actually changes in there. And once more, I would like to just take a moment and tell you something about the GR Corolla Intake, because as I speak, we've got two GR Corollas, one in Canada and the other one in Poland, that are running our intakes. We have already taken up all the installation pictures and the little adjustments and modifications we want to make in order to make sure that when the product hits the market, and that's going to be very soon, it's going to be just perfect. So, lessons learned from the past. Anyways, I want to make you hear our friend Olaf and what he says about the intake. Listen to his clip.
It's so much smoother than just regular driving as well. It is so much better than that K&N thing. My goodness, is it better? So getting some really fun crackles and pops that are seemingly more predictable than the way they were before.
Very well, so super happy of that. Now let's get into the main video. So I just want to talk of the differences between the engine of the Gen 2 and Gen 1 GR Yaris, talking of what is new, of course, on the Gen 2. Because finally we managed to strip a bare stock Gen 2 engine that was not broken, and I want to show you in what way they are different. Talking of ancillaries, so the parts that are attached to the engine, yes, the Gen 2, as you know also from the marketing material, has got improved cooling. But what they don't say, for example, is that even the problems that we had on Gen 1 with the expansion tanks, because we were having this high pressure coolant spraying out of it when the car was going fast, has been solved. And let me show you the images, because they made it higher. As you may appreciate, now it's about 50 millimeters higher, and it's got a new system of chambers within it that should fix the problem of that. So increased cooling, of course, and they say, and this is something there's a bit of debate about, because they say that the valve train springs are actually tougher, but to the testing that two partners of mine have done, this is not the case. So it could be that there is just a little bit more pressure with different retainers on the springs, and this would make sense. So avoiding a bit more with a bit more of tension in there, and preload, avoiding float, but this is not the point. What is the real point is the pistons and the cooling of the engine block and engine head, because this is where we were having the real issues, apart from the fact of the thin oil and all of that. But you know, mega blow-by for some reason always occurs on a couple of specific pistons, and let me show you here. Strangely enough, the left piston that you're looking at, that is the cleanest one, is a Mark 1 OEM Toyota GR Yaris G16 GTS piston, and the one on the right is a Gen 2 stripped from a working engine, a brand new car, stripped down because this is an engine that is being built at our partner shop. So as you can see here, you see a different coating on the new piston. It probably is a hardening coating. And I would say that what you see on the side is just debris from the usage of the piston. And you see an updated code, starts with the 4 on the new car, and it starts with the 2 on the Gen 1. So of course this is different. But where I thought they would have made changes, but they weren't, and this seems a bit strange to me personally, is that they did not change anything in the piston rings, because they are exactly the same. Here with a closer look, side by side, and we can see that they are just the same. So I was expecting something a bit different here, but it isn't. So all in all, there are a number of iterative improvements on the Gen 2 engine, and this includes also the cooling system, but in the end, as you can see, the pistons are exactly the same, so more efficiency in cooling. Now, which could actual fixes be, and what have other people been talking about? Well, it comes out that renowned brand HKS has now come out with a new Grommet head gasket kit that is something totally new, because in the case of this gasket, head gasket, that is made to work both with the open deck OEM configuration and closed deck engines, they basically ask you to open 2 holes to go and intercept the flow of water cooling and open up more cooling through the last 18 millimeters of the piston number 2 in the wall, of course, and through up into the head, where also you have to open some holes. And this enabling cooling better the second cylinder, that is always the hottest and where the most distortion occurs, and by all means it's always the piston where we actually see all the failures. It's always the second cylinder, because how the cooling works in this car, it works just worse on the second. So this is a fix for it. And another thing, as an optional, they give you 4 high power engines, the scheme of how to make a cutout in the head in order to make the 2 cooling channels at the sides and the intake ports of the GR Yaris head touch each other with some water passing through between the head and the gasket, very little, like 1.4 millimeters deep, just in order to cool down the seal for the direct injection injector, because this appears to be breaking on high power engines failures due to heat. So this is very interesting, and I have had an unofficial confirmation that an additional rework of the engine block is being done, let's say, silently within the lineup of the newest GR Yaris Gen.2 and the lineup of the newest GR Corollas. And this is something that is very interesting, and I would like to see one of these engines, but given that it's not officially publicized, it's something that we will discover coming out with the engine. So all in all, it's good that Toyota is addressing some of the issues, and this also explains why we still have failures on the Gen 2, because of course we're still having failures, but I must say that the failure rate has slowed down a lot. And in the end, I'm a big fan of this engine, because before doing this video, we did another compression test on my own engine that is a Generation 1, that is running over 360 horsepower and has been doing now for a few years, and it's got 4 years in total of life, and it's running perfectly. The compression is perfect. So this means that the supporting mods that are done, so the baffle in the oil sump, the cooling with an additional radiator, 5W30 or 5W40 engine oil of the right kind, that is APISP kind, and heating up the engine well and cooling it down before turning it off. And lastly but not least, use the engine within the window of the turbo. So don't make the turbo spool up every time, but get a gear down and help the engine go within the turbo window. This all is gonna help you have a good and healthy engine for a long time. I mean, failures can happen on anything, and many sport cars and non-sport cars have had failures in time. But I mean, this is a really solid engine. 1.6, I mean, I'm having good time having Porsches keep up with me on the rally roads here, and they can't. Even the brand new Turbo S, they just can't manage to keep the pace. So I mean, this is a great engine and a great thing. So we are super busy now, and I think we're gonna work all weekend on the GR Corolla Intake, because we're doing the last modifications and all of that, and I'm very happy. So I'll get back to work, and hopefully next week we can decide to show you what we have done, and the first installations that have been done, and maybe some more clips about that. But in the meantime, let me get back to work on it, and I'm gonna see you very soon. Cheers.